Awesome. Debrief mode, guys. Give me your feedback. Tricia, you made it. You're okay.
Thank you.
This is going to be a great topic for people. This is, this is very relevant. I think it's going to be very valuable.
Of course it is. Listen, Tom already said it. Just listen to me and do like I told you.
Yeah, that's right. Life would be so much easier.
Hello and welcome to the Durham Talents channel. My name is Jesse Durham. We're back for another council of our round table. We have return guests. We have first timer as well, which I'm really excited about. We're going to be talking about personal finance, infinite banking, who knows what else. And I hope that you enjoy. Guys, I have what I think I could get a quick response from y'all on, which is a question completely different from what we've covered so far, but I'd love to just get from everybody. Tricia, you tell me. Tom, you tell me. Brendan, you tell me. Let me throw this at y'all. I'd love to get a quick take from y'all on this. And the question is, how can a client get the best out of you? Because we're all helping people all across the country. How can a client get the best out of you? So some people, they're going to hear this question and they're still vetting the infinite banking concept. And this is going to be speeding up their learning curve, which I love, right? Some people, they're already clients and we can always level up. So it's just a question that I had down that I knew I wanted to bring to the round table. How can a client get their best? Because I recently had a great conversation with an individual that I've had for some years now as a client. And I feel like every time that we get on the phone, me and this fella, it just gets so good. I love knowing what's going on in his family, what's going on in his career, what's going on in his Bible study, like all different kinds of things, right? But I'd love to hear from y'all. How can a client get the best out of their agent or advisor? And talk to them like they're going to be yours or they are yours. And then I know that that's going to be helpful to people that aren't working with us. But again, everybody's contact information will be below in the show notes.
Well, just even when you say that, like, I hope I can give the best of myself to all of my clients, but in perfect honesty, the clients who read the book, who learn, who are curious, who are self-educators and really want to know this stuff, we get on the phone. I have, I don't want to say favorites, but I have a young man that is a client who's like 19 years old, right? And he's so eager to learn. And so we have sat down at lunch in person sometimes and go for 2.5, 3 hours because he's so curious and he's such a ready learner. And I love that because I'm a learner, right? And it just we feed off of each other. We're like learning from each other. And so that is my best client. Let's put it that way. Not just this 19-year-old, but I'm saying is the client who is eager to learn and hasn't gotten the arrival syndrome, and is just hungry and wants to go and discover more. That is where I think the best is going to come out in me as well, because I'm right there with them. Like, let's go get it.
I love that. I love that. So obviously I knew that was going to be the case, that y'all, like me, you're more than willing to pour into the people that are ready. All right. But Tom, what's your feedback there? How can people get the best out of you or out of their agent or advisor?
Just listen to everything I say and just do it. It's just probably easier to it just saves time, right? Time is our scarcest resource. No, I'm
Okay, Dad, because I told you so.
no, they don't listen to me anyway. I know this. I'm smart enough to know that they don't listen to me. But no, that's why I think we're connected this way, because I think we have a similar mentality around this. We're not trying to convince anybody to do something they don't want to do anyway. We are
Right.
educators, we are empowerers, we coach. Like, that's how I look at myself. My job isn't to tell you what to do. My job is to help you find the things that are important to you and you do them, right? Help you get them done, right? That's really how simple I look at it. And why even I personally started this practice, because this is my chance to do something for the world in my way, right? To help where I can, where I'm good at, and I'm curious. And so that's what I connect best with, people who are absolutely curious, who want to do great things in this world too. right? That's who I connect best with. So if people are looking for just answers and transactions, we're probably not a good fit, right? It just doesn't work that way. Like the money is the money, but what we do with it and how we live our lives is what's most important. Those are the people I connect with. And so we think bigger. And so that's how I think people will get the most out of it. If they're just open-minded and willing to share and are looking to do good things in this world, not just make money.
Awesome. Brandon, how do people get the best out of you or best out of their agent or advisor?
Yeah, I think this is good. You guys all touched on the things that I thought of. Like we all want to help people, right? We're all here to solve some problems, right? And so I think we're driven by that. I'm driven by that. So when you're open and transparent with me, when you tell me what your biggest challenges or your biggest pain points are, and then you tell me what you've got to work with, what are your savings, what's your cash flow, right? And then we can work together through your transparency, right? And mutual trust of one another, then we can work together to kind of solve those problems or move towards those goals.
I love it. Tricia says, be hungry. Tom says, be ready for a coach. Brandon says, pain points, transparency. I like that one. I'll underscore just a moment here by saying, when people do hit walls or they hit obstacles or they hit hard times, they lose a job, they have some medical, something other, sometimes the tendency can be to go quiet, radio silence, right? But with your professionals, that's not the person to be quiet on. We need to maintain that open communication. We need to maintain that transparency. Listen, we're on the phone with people who are going through divorces, who have lost family members. They just lost mom, just lost grandma, that we're going through people that just lost their jobs. We're working with people. So be ready for a coach, stay hungry, share your pain points, be transparent about that stuff, and you'll get your best from us. I love it.
I guess I just always want to encourage people, like, especially in this time when there is a lot of confusion and noise out there and concern and worry, there is so much hope here and peace and just a different existence available. But you've got to do the work to read the book, contact a coach, learn, take the time. I mean, in so many ways, that is my story coming into this, right? All of a sudden, my world went upside down. Things were so uncertain, and I dove in and studied and found this, and it has just transformed my future and my life now. And I am so grateful. So I just want to encourage people not to be afraid to do that, to jump in, to learn, and to engage.
I think in these days of craziness, the biggest thing people have is fear, right? Fear of the unknown, what is going to happen, and yeah, you need to have courage and explore. And it's funny because I'm always reminded that the opposite of courage is not fear; it's actually conformity, and that's always stuck with me. Like, there are things we just assume they are accurate. We get used to them. They're conventional wisdoms, and we don't test it because we're scared. We're scared of what else, right? And so it's easier to stay with the pack. What I would encourage people is, and I just have come to realize this in my own life, is once you start knocking on that other door, so many more other doors open. But you got to have the courage to go against the grain and learn about other things and find what's right for you versus living potentially someone else's life. And that is stuff that changes people's lives, and then opens up a whole new world. And sometimes you just need some pain like these things to realize it. So I would just encourage you to face those fears, hug them, and say, you know what, they're nothing, and I'm going forward.
Hug your fears. I love that.
Sound money. Pursue and filter your financial decisions by asking yourself, is this following a sound money principle? You know, Nixon took us off the gold standard, and that's when we started seeing runaway inflation. When we practice infinite banking, we're actually using sound money principles, because every transaction we make when we do a policy loan and we use it, we have the collateral to back it up. When the Federal Reserve had gold to back up the dollars, they had capital to back up the dollars, right? We no longer have that. And now we have inflation that is like another hidden tax on us that's destroying us. And it's making us have families where both the spouses have to work, right? That's the result of it. The dollar's worth 3% of what it was when it originally was put into circulation, right? And that's devastating for us, and it's devastating for our families. And the last thing is, be mindful of greed in your own life, right? Be mindful of greed in your own life, because that's when we make mistakes, right? We go through a boom cycle and we feel like we're bulletproof. We get greedy and we make mistakes. We make bad choices and we forget what sound money principles are, right? Warren Buffett said, when people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy, right? So those are my final thoughts that I'd like to leave with you guys.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again to y'all for being here. I appreciate you immensely. To everybody that's tuned in here, everybody's contact information will be below in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this deep dive because of the round table where we're talking about personal views, professional views, make sure to check out the next video. You can find me at durhamtalents.com. Live and leave a lasting legacy. Have a great day. Take care. Well, we can go there in the future. I'm more than happy to go there. And Brandon gave us plenty of examples I almost started to tease you, Brandon, about what are you doing here, sir? Giving us examples from history. President this and fiat currency that. What do you there's nothing happening here. So I'm more than happy to field that. I think I probably don't say enough about like Nelson's recommended reading, but like reading stuff like The Law by Frederick Bastiat, or reading How Privatized Banking Really Works, but some of these older things, some of these like The Law. That's why I loved your verbiage around that, Tom, of extracting control, because the government is extracting, all kinds of control more and more over time. Banks are extracting control from us. So many institutions, the devil himself, I would say, greatest enemy that there is. And then money being, it's the incentive, right? It's like, just ask, well, why is this the case? Why is it that way? And see if there's not a money answer to that. Because I think there's going to be a money answer to a lot of these things.
Yeah, usually, right? it is crazy. You talk about the terrorists. That could go down crazy rabbit holes. And then it kind of gets back to some of the fundamental things, like everyone lives off of our consumerism, right? We just like to buy stuff and live high lives. Yeah. Like you go across the world, like they can live on simple things, right? And they don't have to have like all the things that we think we need to have, right? If we didn't need them, then our life should be simpler.
We like to look rich, even if
like but I think of all that stuff, it's just like ingrained in us. It's like I have to, and when you peel it back, I'm like, that doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah.
Really? But someone told me that someone went through this exercise with me, and I was like, hit me in the gut, and I was like, I didn't know how to answer it. And he said, just imagine, just draw an H in your head for a second. Listen to their H. And it's simple. He said, put a dot at the H on the left, the intersection on the left. That's when you're born. Put a dot on the other side, the right side, that intersection on the right. That's when you're dead. Where are you in this continuum? Wherever you put it, put in the middle. And he says, just put a circle from that middle point to the end, an oval around it. That's what you got left. It says, when you get to that right side, what do you want to say matter to you in your life? Is it money? Is it, super success? Whatever it is, like most of it probably has nothing to do with what I focus on today, potentially, right? Um, Most people are saying, yeah, I'm in this advisor role because of money. Really? Because if you said that at the end, like, would you say money mattered to you? That's what mattered to you? Nobody would say that. Well, I don't think. But it's a deeper question, and then you kind of wonder where you're spending your time. That's just me.
No, I agree. I think that's the realization for me was that it's not about accumulating money. It's about having money so that I can buy back my time so that I can do and be who I want to be for the rest of my life, right?
Mm,
It's the time freedom that money can give you, you know, that so that you can spend it with the ones you love because you only got so much time.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
no, but it's like those things. It's just, you recognize it's just, when you get so busy in life and
Mhm.
craziness, you don't really think about it. I
No.
certainly don't all the time.
Well, that's intentional in and of itself.
Right. Yeah. It's just exactly right. It keeps you on the train, right?
Yep.
Job
And
has,
the guys pulling the strings, they're actually not smart enough to plan all that out, right? Like like they can't control us and manipulate us to the degree that they're doing on their own. They're not that smart. But you know who is? Satan, man. Satan's like pulling the strings of these guys, right? And like controlling us and manipulating it, making us think we got to be consumers of everything and do this and that, get busy on the treadmill and make more money so we can keep up, right? And then it takes us out and we're not loving our family, on mission for
right,
God, serving others, right?
right.
How do you ever hear a still small voice if you're so
Right.
busy on the treadmill?
Yeah.
Y'all are bringing up the kinds of things that I like to talk about. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to hear more about this homesteading that you got going on. We got a couple of chickens that I need to add more, but I'm like, dang, I'm so freaking busy, man. And like, you know, anyway,
I got these boys to work, man. I got these boys to work now.
yeah, that's got to help. Yeah.
My,
My boys are in charge of the. I mean, I got to supervise and whatnot, but they're in charge of these chores.
Okay, good.
That way, I can do the new stuff. I incorporate them to help me with the maintenance type stuff or the daily type stuff, which I feel like is good for them. But we're having more and more conversations too about, hey, when you get your schoolwork done for the day and it's done well with a good attitude, all the right things. You get your regular chores done for the day. You get your checklist because they got a checklist of things that they just, we're part of this household. You got to do these things. But their fourth thing for the day, we're at the point now where, well, that's something you can get paid for. You come to me, Daddy needs something done here, there, or wherever. We strike a deal, and you can get paid for that work. Same thing. Got to do it well, the way Daddy wants it done, etc. But that's another way to both take, maybe more of a burden off of me, but let them earn some money and us have conversations about things. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's some of it.
Super cool. Yeah, that's great, man.
Well, that's been an evolution over time for me, and maybe that's even something we could talk about here today. Is that whole conversation around allowance or paid work by the hour or commission work or what y'all do, what you got going on, because I feel like it's something that I'm still curious about. That's been an evolution over time for me. But that's kind of where I'm at currently. Some things you just got to do because you're part of this household and we eat food, right?
Right.
And we wear
Right.
clothes, etc. But I'm excited that, especially my youngest son Josiah right now, he's animated. He wants to buy a zero-turn tractor, and he is working and he is earning.
Do I need to check the news? Like, because I keep my head in the dirt a lot of times and don't know what's going on. So it's You gonna just drop it on me?
No, so I'm not going to get specific. Listen, I had a guy tell me right at 10 years ago, a guy said for the first time, and I was never super big into news, but he said this, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to adopt that. I like that. And he said, if it's bad enough, and well, let me give you the context. I was in my first year in a business. It's like you got to be blinders on. No looking left, no looking right. Okay, first year in a business. He said, if the news is bad enough, they'll tell you. Meaning just, you'll hear about it. Don't worry about it. You just go out and do what you need to be doing. So I've certainly adopted a measure of that. And I like being a certain level of informed, I guess, but I still believe that I've said some of this stuff before, and y'all got me going, and I said I was getting ready to do an introduction, but if your relationships are where you want them, and for me, marriage, all right, that one first. If your faith is on a good track, your faith journey, your faith walk with the Lord, if your parenting is operating at a high level, if things are going well, or you got high prospects financially speaking, or business wise, and then if you got some element of friends and fun, some hobby, some you're loving this book that you're reading. If you got just a handful of things that you're moving in the right direction. I mean, does it matter what's happening, in Congress or at the White House or even in your local county? Yes. I mean, we had wildfires recently, thousands of acres burning up, lots of smoke and things. And but I can't control that. I could try and be a great husband today, though. You know what I'm saying? Is that too preachy? I went long and y'all are just smiling and nodding. See what you do? I just need to do my introduction and let y'all talk some. If this video was valuable to you, make sure to let me know with a thumbs up, and I'll see you at durhamtalents.com. Live and leave for lasting legacy.